a woman raping a man. Is it even possible? Because people say it's not possible. I mean, the man enjoyed it. He has upper hand when it comes to physical strength. What usually happens when men report this case to the police station?
The report may even be dismissed with comments like, how can you be raped? How managed by a woman?
How managed?
Raped by a woman, you know? And truly speaking, it looks somehow impossible for a woman to rape a man.
How does the law protect the victim? Can a man rape his wife? It's another episode on More Than Headline, a podcast where we go beyond the surface of societal issues, especially through the lens of a Nigerian. My name is Glory James, and you're welcome to More Than Headlines. Today, I bring you a conversation on rape that pertains or concerns the male gender. So we know when you hear rape, your first thoughts would be on who raped her. Was she raped? She is always the female gender. So the society has toned down on this matter concerning the male child. When I say male child, I mean both the adult and the boy child. So today I have here Barrister Jerry, who is a human rights activist. He will introduce himself later. And also we have Trisha here. She's a boy child advocate. So Trisha, can we know you?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Queen Trisha, Miss Aquarium Iconic Queen, a fashion designer and your boy child advocate.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
So Barrister, can we meet you?
Yeah, thank you. I'm Barrister Prince Jerry Umo, a human rights lawyer and child rights activist.
Interesting. We have you and we have you in a good hand. So all the questions, all the conversation you want to have around this topic, you have the right person or the right people who can deal with this conversation. So my first question will go to Barrister, sir. Legally speaking, can a man report rape in Nigeria?
Of course, yes. Legally speaking, a man can report rape in Nigeria. Such cases have been reported. Such matters have been handled at the police stations and in the courts here in Nigeria.
So would you say the reports, we have low cases or we have much of it but on the low? People hardly talk about it or society doesn't even care?
Well, most men, from what we've come to discover, are usually very skeptical about coming forward to report rape incidents because they fear ridicule. They fear they're going to be stereotyped, and they just want to let it go away and walk away and just let it be, you know. Yeah. So that's what we
so
most cases where we came to find out are cases where a third party interfered or intervened or caught the perpetrator in the act and decided to come forward as a good citizen to, you know, report to the police or get the rapist arrested. Most of such cases.
So how does that go when it's in court? How does it go? What's the charge?
I think to start with, I should give a kind of an introductory background.
Okay.
You know, so we get to understand exactly what we are talking about. You were asking if men can be victims of rape too. Yes, of course. Men can be victims of rape. Boys can be victims of rape. Boys and men have been victims of rape. Rape is often discussed as a crime committed against women, and rightly so, because women and girls are disproportionately affected. However, rape is often discussed as a crime committed against women, and rightly so, because women and girls are disproportionately affected. However, The silence around male victims has created a dangerous legal and social blind spots. Men can be raped. Yes, men are raped. And when the law or society refuses to acknowledge this reality, justice is denied. Trauma is deepened and perpetrators are emboldened. In Nigeria today, male victims face not just the pain of sexual violence, but also ridicule, disbelief, and legal uncertainty. The discussion of today is not about competing victimhood. That's competing victimhood between male and female. It's about recognizing that rape is a crime of violence, not gender. A crime of violence, not gender. And that the law must protect every human being equally, be he a male or a female.
Okay. So you know that this is what the law says, but I've had cases where I've not been there, but I've heard cases where a man reports this to the police, and before the report is even being done or statements being taken, you will just hear ridicule, like, why would you, a man raped? So let's not even talk about the gay part where another guy raped another guy. Let's talk about a woman raping a man. Is it even possible? Because people say it's not possible. I mean, the man enjoyed it. He has the upper hand when it comes to physical strength. So for him not to, fight back means that he actually wants it. Because if he didn't want it, he's stronger than the lady. He'll be able to.
I've come across a couple of cases where boys were raped. Most of this happens in situations or scenarios where the parents do not have time. Maybe they're bankers, medical doctors. They are always away from the home, and they employ a nanny, perhaps a woman, a full-grown woman, to take care of the children. I've seen a case where a 12-year-old boy was being repeatedly raped by the house nanny, that was meant to take care, protect, the boy. She cunningly, groomed him, and the boy began to do penetrative sex with the boy. And in the eye of the law, rape, even though it's consensual between a minor and an adult, in the eye of the law is rape. When it is a minor. Okay, who is a minor in the eye of the law in Nigeria? A minor is a child. We refer to such a person as a child that is 16 years and below.
16 years
and below.
Okay,
once you are 16, by law, you can have a boyfriend as a girl, you can do whatever you want to do. But once you are given 1 hour before you are 16, if you have consensual sex with a man as a girl, or a boy, you have consensual sex with another man or a woman, it is rape in the eye of the law.
Okay.
Yes, it's rape in the eye of the law. So you'll be prosecuted.
There was a video that trended a few months ago where the teacher, I don't know if you came across the video, the teacher, a full-grown woman who's supposed to nurture a child, was involved with this act with the child. And the boy is 16. And a lot of comments came because he was the one in charge. If you saw the video, he was the one in charge. And because of that, people said... He
even did the video.
Yes, people said that's not rape. He knew what he was doing. He enjoyed it. So for that, that's not rape. Now, me, I'm looking at the age. Whether the child is enjoying it or not, or he made the video, the adult, the other person involved is 30 years above. Who knows? She knows good and wrong. Supposed to put this child in place. So even if the child is what that wants it, you're supposed to keep the child in check, isn't it? So in that case, I had a friend who was, we're just back and forth the conversation. He kept saying that he would not call that rape because obviously the boy was enjoying it. And I was looking at the age. This boy is a teen. So in that case,
Well, a teenager who is 16 and above can have relations, and by law it is not rape. It is now a legal obligation or a moral obligation for the older person involved to know where to stop when it comes to having intimate relationships with teenagers of such age group. Okay? So I know about that case. The woman was not prosecuted because the boy is above 16, but she was sacked. She was the boy's teacher in this case. So she was sacked from work, but she was not arrested and prosecuted. In that case, I'm aware of it. But if the boy were to be 15, 14, 13, 12, she would have been arrested and prosecuted.
I mean, if the boy was having this with his peers, age group, the whole sex or the whole activity, I wouldn't think of it that much. But being that the other person is older, I feel like that's molestation. You're molesting the child. Maybe I'm coming from the moral
Exactly.
legally, because I was really fighting this person before. I was like, this is wrong. She should be sued. But the person was actually saying that morally it is wrong, but legally it's not. It's crazy. So let's move to Trisha.
You were asking about which law protects the male.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Under Nigerian law, we have what we call the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015, where male rape is expressly recognized. This law protects male victims in Nigeria, and it is currently effective in practice. Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015, popularly known as the VAP law.
Okay.
Yeah. So it defines rape in gender-neutral terms. The older laws only defines rape as a penetration, penile penetration into the vagina of a lady or a woman without her consent, while the VAP law defines it as intentional penetration of the vagina, anus, or mouth of another person with any part of the body or anything else without the consent of that person. So this, this law covered the vacuum that was inevitably there, the loophole that was there before. This law enables, the prosecution of a rapist of a boy, child, or a male.
For the
gender neutral.
For the rapist, what's the what will I say? What's the charge?
It's I know what we're talking about. Life imprisonment, 12 years minimum to life imprisonment.
Okay. Life imprisonment.
Is that for the male?
Yes, for the rapists.
So whether it's male or female?
Whether male or female, yeah. Whether male or female. Yes.
Have you had a child? So aware you deal with boys and you advocate for them. Have you had a situation like this, or have you noticed a child who is always withdrawn, and when you found out, you realize that there's something that's actually making that child? Because most children that you see in school always to themselves, they hardly talk, they hardly socialize, because these people always traumatize and threaten them if you talk to anybody. Have you had a case like that?
Okay, I had one case study at PH,
Okay.
Otako, where there was this boy who was always, let me use the word timid. And for some reason, he's not open to people. So I got interested in it and I started to dig into it just to find out what's up with him. So I found that he was raped when he was a child. So he grew up with that trauma and PTSD. Finds it very hard to talk to anybody about it, not because there are nobody to talk to, but he feels like he said earlier, he'll be ridiculed first of all. So when you think about that look of someone is like, how is a boy raped? It sounds odd to them, so they're like, they don't even want to believe in the first place. So I asked him if he had reported to anyone. He said no, he doesn't want to because he's not interested in reporting. I asked him why you're not interested in reporting. He said he was threatened not to say a word by the person involved. Why? If I say anything, I'm going to be killed, I'm going to be this and the rest of it all. Okay, so since this thing happened a long time ago, it's not a recent act. I tried to find out if there is a way they could still get justice for him. We went to the police and they took it up from there. They were to dig into the issue.
So how old was he?
Give or take, as that when this thing happened, he was about 9 years old when it happened.
So, barrister, how does the law protect the victim? Do you get? So, is there any form of, there's how a child go through certain things. You just send them to therapy, to see a psychologist or something to help. So, where does the law come in that? Because after you've reported the rapist and he or she has been taken to prison and all of that, you leave this child with that trauma. So, is there any form of help for
You
such
know, the
victims?
aspects of the law is where it prescribes punitive measures against the perpetrator of the acts.
So,
That is where the law comes in.
okay.
And I was talking about the VAP Act. The VAP Act prescribes a minimum of 12 years to life imprisonment for the perpetrator. Where the law comes in is the perpetrator will be prosecuted in courts and sentenced to a minimum of 12 years or life imprisonment. That's where the law comes in. So every other area, you talk about therapy, other
Form of support, help
form of
for the
support,
victims.
help for the victim from other other experts in other areas
To
of
handle.
to handle. Yeah.
Okay, so if you would say anything to any victim, anyone going through this, who is finding it hard to come out to talk, what would you say?
What I would say is this: if you have experienced rape as a male child or as a man here in Nigeria, there is hope. The VAP law has been adopted and is now implemented in Akwa Ibom states and active. And so if you have been a victim of rape as a male child or a man here in Akwa Ibom State or anywhere in Nigeria, feel free to come forward and report. It's a criminal offense.
So, barrister,
Yeah.
where does the law fall short for male victim?
The shortcomings are both legal and institutional. Number one, we talk about outdated laws, such as the Criminal Code. Southern Nigeria operates the Criminal Code law, which defines rape strictly as a man having unlawful carnal knowledge of a woman. The Penal Code, which is applied in northern Nigeria, also excludes male victims. These laws
Okay.
erase male victims entirely. limited geographic reach of the VAP Acts. It's not the VAP Act, which now includes male victims as rape victims, is not being practiced nationwide. Some states have not adopted it. But I thank God, like I said earlier, I thank God that Akwa Ibom State of Nigeria has adopted and implemented the VAP Act, now, and a male victim of rape in Akwa Ibom State can now find and have the much awaited justice. Lack of enforcement and of prosecutions, as it was before, but now the VAP app has brought the enablement for law enforcement officers to, prosecute perpetrators of rape of male victims in Akwa Ibom states. And so that vacuum is now closed in Akwa Ibom State. And some other states in Nigeria, such as Anambra State or your state, I know of Lagos State. Most states where the VAP law has not been adopted are mostly in the north. And we hope that as soon as possible, the VAP law will be adopted nationwide in all the states in Nigeria, so that justice can be made available and be served for male rape victims all over Nigeria.
Interesting. Tricia, what emotional damage does silence cause the victim? Because some of them would not want to say anything because they were threatened, or because they are shy, or they don't feel ashamed. So what do you think that silence will cause them?
Sometimes that emotional damage of their victims could be PTSD.
Okay.
Sometimes it pushes them into this mental illness. Sometimes it makes them go into drug abuse. Most times they become toxic. In the sense that, okay, this is what I went through when I was a child, so why do I even have to be nice to the society, especially to women? That's where you see most men behave the way they behave, because they feel like, after all, a woman did this thing to me, so they're still on a payback.
So you think most men that are very toxic is because of that experience?
Most of them childhood experience could cause, especially if the perpetrators are family.
Yeah.
If the person that did these things is blood, so they feel like, if my blood could do this, how much more for someone outside? So they tend to act rash, and also they don't think most times before they act. So that's how it gets to affect their emotions most times.
Would you blame the... So the question is for both of you, right? That question just came as you were saying. Would you blame the parents for not noticing? Because if you have a child who is always very jovial and active, and all of a sudden the child is withdrawn, shouldn't you pay attention? So some parents, the child will take this for as long as till their adulthood, and they are not aware. So maybe after many years, the child now says something and they start crying. Why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you? Would you blame the parents for some of this?
Somehow, I would say let's cut the blame across 50-50. 50% on the parents and 50% on the perpetrator. And I think I'm not going to give the victim any percentage. Why? Because he's the one that is being hurt. Why am I giving the parents 50%? You notice that a child that was once jovial is now silent and withdrawn from the society, and you didn't bother to check what the problem is. You now categorize it and put as introverts. Okay. But then you're supposed to ask questions. Are you okay? Most times some parents ask, are you okay? And the child is like, I'm fine. Why?
And they leave it
because they already threatened you that if you talk. Now, parenting also plays a very big role, in the sense that when you groom your child to a level where your child is very comfortable to tell you everything that goes on in their life, whether they are threatened or not, it does not give space for them to hide that kind of thing from you. So you have a child, and for example, I have an aunt that has a child, two boys. Something happened in the compound one day, and the boy ran up. The mom wasn't around, and he ran up to me and was like, Auntie Trisha, Auntie Trisha. I said, what is it? So when he mentioned what happened, first of all, what came into my mind was, at his age, he's able to come report this thing to me. I thought about it, and then when the mom came back, before I could even say anything to the mother, he already went to report to the mom. Now, the mom already gave this ground that you can talk to me no matter what. Whoever it is that threatens you, I'm your mom. If you can't talk to me, talk to your dad. I would always protect you more than any other person. So I would push 50% of the blame to the parent and 50% to the perpetrators.
Barrister, what would you say?
Well, for me, as a parent, your first responsibility is your children, the training of your children. And so you have to dedicate your time, your energy to that purpose. For me, you have to dedicate your time as a parent. Your responsibility lies with your children. Dedicate your time, your energy. You live for them. What they turn out to be in the future is to your benefits, to your glory, to your benefits, and to the glory of God. And so a parent has to be watchful. You have to be focused on your children. Keep that watch on them. When you notice anything strange, ask questions. And this is why I always, when I have any opportunity to talk to parents, I say, don't be harsh to your children. When you are harsh to them, they will withdraw from you. You scare them away, and they cannot confide in you. I was once in a family compound. I was so impressed. The girl was just about 5-6 years old. She walked up to her mom, said, "Mommy, you told me that anytime any man touches my private part, I should report to you." And mom said, "Yes." "Did any such thing happen?" He said, "Yes. That uncle that you said should come and be teaching us lesson. That uncle touched me on my bum yesterday. I forgot to tell you this morning before I went to school." And mother was like, "What? How did he touch you?" And she went about to explain and describe that he put his hand on my bum, pressed my bum, and also wanted to put his hand at the front of my wee. I then hit his hand and told him that my mommy told me that anytime anybody touches my private part, I should report to her. So I'm going to report to her. And he started begging that I should please not tell anybody. You see that?
She said all of that to the mother.
Yes, to the mother.
The mom has given that open space that she can't say anything.
Exactly. And the mom began to ask, "Did you tell anybody else? Did you tell anybody in your school?" Say, "Yes, I told my friend." And that was when she was said, "Please don't tell any other person. It's good you told me. When he comes today, I'm going to confront him." You see, that's the kind of relationship I prescribe for parents, and children, so that they feel very free. A girl was raped by her own uncle, who is living under her father's roof, and she could say nothing because she was afraid of her father and her mother. But any little thing, spank the child. Any little thing, kneel down there. Most parents do not have this parent-child relationship. And that is very bad.
There's some school of thought that says, my child is my child. I am not their friend. So my child should not relate with me as a friend. The reason why the child misbehaved, because
that's a very bad school of thought and should be abrogated. Yes, very bad school of thought.
The funny thing is that sometimes even when this child reports to the parent and the older person in the house that happened to do this thing gets to be like, it's a lie. Most parents, I notice that they tend to believe the outsider over their own children inside the house. And it's always very funny when I see that thing.
Yes, what
And
you have
you
said
shot
is true.
the child.
Yeah.
There was this case of a boy who was being raped by a neighbor in the compound, same compound. This boy reported to his dad. He tried to speak, to tell his dad. He say, Uncle Friday used to call me to his room. When I get there, he will give me biscuits. He will give me, shut up. Did I tell you not to collect anything from anybody?
Case closed.
Daddy, shut up. Don't go into Uncle Friday's room again. If I see you going there again or collecting anything from him, I will spank you till your ears spill blood. What nonsense. Get out from here.
That is you not.
Now, after some time, I think it was within the space, according to the father who was narrating this ordeal to me, about 3 months after, blood and mucus was coming from the boy's anus. Whenever he goes to the toilet, blood and mucus. Mucus. This was advanced stage of syphilis, warts, gonorrhea in the anus of this boy. And the anus began to protrude. It became cancerous. So they had to rush this boy to the hospital for medical treatment. And it was there and then that the father was ready to listen.
I prescribe that they arrest that father.
You see? So parents should be proactive in watching over their children, listening, give them listening ears. Be a friend to your child. Be a friend to your daughter. Be a friend to your son. Create an environment, an enabling environment whereby your child can walk up to you and say anything, anytime, any day.
Without fear.
Without fear.
And I think
of reprisal.
The rapists or those people that do the crime, they know the family they do these things with.
Of course, they are always very close people, very close.
And they
very
observe
close
the
relative,
relationship.
close family friends.
They observe the relationship those children have with their parents.
They know that
once they
matter what
notice
you say,
that you are like this with your parents, they are very careful. But the ones that the parents are not always around, no time, they don't even pay attention, those are their victims. Just because they'll be able to shut those children up. Let's move to the adult male. What usually happens, Barrister, that's to you, because I'm very sure maybe you would have cases like that. What usually happens when men report this case to the police station?
First of all, it's ridicule, laughter, and
Now, man, you be now. Why would you allow him?
The report may even be dismissed with comments like, how can you be raped? How managed? By a woman.
How managed?
Raped by a woman, And then, which leads to wrong charge classification. The police may record it as assault, indecent assault, or natural offenses instead of rape, especially when it involves a woman.
A woman.
I was at the station one time when a man came in and said he was raped by a woman, that he wants to make statements. And I saw what happened. The policemen were just laughing. And they said, okay, guy, bring money, no problem. And the money where we want. Bring money, we'll go arrest that woman, come. And he was asking how much. They told him to go and bring 300,000 naira for them to, just go and arrest you. And they just made ridicule of him. You raped, And truly speaking, it looks somehow impossible for a woman to rape a man. Because, come to speak of it, the way the system of a man is structured, it's not like that of a woman. You have to think of it
for it to happen.
Before it happens, before your body rises and things like that, And so if it comes to where a woman is forcing a man, if you are not in the mood or you totally don't want that, I don't know how that can happen. So mostly it usually happens where, like I said earlier, where a minor is taking advantage of a minor male child. That's a boy below the age of 16. He's taken advantage of by a woman, an adult woman. In the eye of the law, even though that boy gave consent, did it willingly, it is rape. So those are most of the cases we've seen, but hardly you see the case of a fully grown-up man, coming up to say a woman, a grown-up woman raped him.
So it's not possible.
Well, very rare. Very rare.
Why do you think it's rare?
But when it comes to male, man and man, same gender, it's common.
Okay.
Yes, and it usually happens most especially during court initiations.
Okay.
We've come across cases like this where new members are not informed before time that
what they will experience.
They will tell them, okay, you are going to lie inside coffin, you are going to drink concoction, you are going to use machete and pierce your body and rub you with certain kind of things and so on and so forth.
They are prepared for that one.
They are prepared for that one. But you find out that in most of these cult initiations, most of these cults have been prescribed by the Akwa Ibom State government, anyway. During the initiation process, the last part of it is usually that the old members will just grab the newcomers, the newly initiated members, and start raping them. And all of them are boys. They just drag down their trousers and start raping. And those ones will be surprised. Is this part of the ritual? I say, yes. This is the final part that welcomes you into this
club or
this
cult.
Club, yes. And at that point, most of them have no choice. They just, allow it to happen.
They're already there.
Because they didn't give consent. It's rape. So if such incident is reported, of course, the law will take its...
In that scenario, how would you report such incidents?
There have been situations where such incidents were reported, and the cult members were arrested, joining a proscribed cult in Akwa Ibom State or in Nigeria is a criminal offense. Yes, it's a criminal offense. And so when they are being charged, those who perpetrated the rape will be charged separately for rape. All will be charged for cultism. Those who committed rape will also be charged separately for rape.
That's very interesting.
Yes. That's what we do.
Didn't you know what you were going for? I mean, because I'm looking at you, if you are the victim, you're going to be initiated into a cult and you were raped. I'm just imagining how he, the person, will be thinking, when I report these people for rape, when they ask me, what was I doing? What was happening there? Am I not also implementing myself?
So, like
when these people are apprehended and arrested, they make a extrajudicial statement to the police. Okay. And so they implicate themselves. Okay, during the initiation process, we did this, we did that. At the end of the day, our Oga, blew a kind of a sound, a whistle, and the next thing I knew, somebody was pulling down my trousers, and all of us were being raped, just like that, And this is how we get to know these things, Some of them just, tell the police the truth. They just say the truth. They come to court and say it as it is. Yes.
So in that case, when they come to the court to say it as it is, are they also charged for being in that space at that time?
Those who did not commit rape will not be charged for rape.
Just for cultism.
They can be charged for cultism.
Okay.
But those who committed the rape will be charged for both cultism and rape.
Including the victim?
No.
So the victim is
the
charged for
victim
just
is-
For rape.
cultism.
The victim is
for
charged
cultism,
for just cultism.
Cultism, yes.
So if you know you're going to be charged, why are you going to report?
I think the punishment it differs. The other one, like he said, they save it 12 years and also save a different punishment. Why this one just going to save one and not two? So this one is going to go back home early enough. Why the other ones are going to stay?
So
way
just think
longer.
about it. Bad, the bad, 5 years I'm out, but they have to serve their term.
Apart from that, most of these
Because I don't see why you implicate
most of the
yourself.
suspects, when they tell the truth, there's what we call plea deal, plea bargain. Tell us the truth, and we'll
We'll see
reduce your sentence.
Does
your
that work?
punishment. Yes,
Yeah.
it works. You know,
In Nigeria.
you see, they come out and they say everything as it is. You know,
Because I used to feel
And
like
it makes-
those stuff are just things you
Sugar
use to
coats.
lure people
Just
to
to say
have
the
them
truth.
say, and after the whole thing, they are still served the same term with others.
no. The law takes all those things into consideration.
Into consideration.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting. So, the last question for you, Trisha. What would you say to any child going through this and not speaking out?
To any boy child who has been a rape victim, I would say, first off, summon courage. It's not easy. Like, it's very hard to say. But at the end of the day, you need to talk to somebody. So you need to summon courage, first of all. Then, even when you're going to make this report, people are going to ridicule you. You're supposed to have a closed ears towards that. You know what you want. So you go for it. So for every male victim, please speak up. Yeah, there's always help for you.
Okay, barrister. Is there a neutral concept for gender concept that is neutral for both gender?
Yes, and the VAP law has completely brought about a closure to the vacuum that existed before when it comes to prosecution of a male rapist of a male, you know, and so I understand your question to be what legal reform will most protect male victims of rape today in Nigeria? That's what you're asking, right? Okay. One decisive reform can be a nationwide gender-neutral definition of rape incorporated into Nigeria's criminal code and penal code. You know, the VAP law that has been domesticated by many states in the southern and eastern part of Nigeria has taken care of male rape victims. But the penal code adopted by northern Nigeria does not take care of that, and criminal code too. And so we have a nationwide gender-neutral definition of rape incorporated into Nigeria's criminal code and penal code that covers the north. Then that will be a good development for male rape victims, you know, in the northern part of Nigeria, as it would eliminate the legal ambiguity, standardized prosecution nationwide, all across Nigeria, and then to compel police training. Yes, the police need to be trained because I must say, though the police, they're trying, but when it comes to this area, I've seen, I've heard of a couple of cases where a male victim reported rape to the police, and they just
Sweep it under the carpet.
yes, turn a blind eye, make mockery of the person, and you just take it seriously. You don't even investigate, go ahead and carry out the proper investigation. So the police needs training, and this law will affirm equality before the law. It will send a clear message that rape is a crime against the person, not against the gender. We've always seen rape as a crime against women
Women.
in Nigeria. That has to change. In the Western world today, rape is a crime against the person, not against the gender. And so my hope is that Nigeria will get to that stage where all across the nation we have this law that brings about punitive measures, brings punitive measures against perpetrators of rape against male victims. I also want to talk about the legal release available to a male rape victim in Nigeria. Yeah, this is where the VAP law comes in, the VAP Act. The VAP Act or similar state laws applies. A male victim can seek criminal prosecution of the offender. Yes, just go ahead, summon up courage, report. If you are a boy, child, and you've been raped by maybe your lesson teacher, your uncle, or that uncle that lives in your compound, he lured you into his room, and you went there because you didn't have any out of that of fear in your mind. He's a man, like you, and then he rapes you. Feel free to come forward. Don't be scared. Talk to your parents. Talk to your head teacher in your school. Talk to anybody you feel free to talk to. And justice, I assure you that justice will be served. Medical examination and forensic reports. If you have been raped, be you a male or female, you need medical examination, more especially male. Yes, you need medical examination. So if you stay quiet and sweep it under the carpet and say, I don't want to tell anybody because I'm afraid my dad is going to beat me, my mom is going to, then you are doing yourself harm. Because you don't know the kind of STDs that person has, contracted to you. So you need to speak up so that you'll be taken for medical examination, and proper treatment will be made available unto you.
On time.
Yes, and on time. Yes, timely treatment. You can be compensated. Yes, you can be compensated. Civil action for damages, assault, battery, emotional distress can be brought against the suspect or the perpetrator of such a crime. There are constitutional remedies for violation of dignity and personal liberty. Yes, all these are remedies that are available unto you if you are a male, boy, child, or you are a man and you are being raped. Please don't keep quiet, don't sweep it under the carpet. Take your life in your hands. Make a report today. Come forward. Be free, be bold. Because at that point, your life is in your hands, and it is said that heaven helps those who help themselves. You can't tell, the rape might even result in HIV transmission into your system. You speak out, and you are taken to the hospital and given remedy. Do you know if an HIV positive person rapes another person today, do you know that there's a remedy such that the person being raped will not turn out HIV positive?
So how long would that take before? 72
Within
hours.
72 hours, you'll be given antiretroviral drugs, and it clears the HIV off your system. So if you are a victim of rape, if you sit back and close your mouth and hide it,
Your life is ticking.
then your life is in danger. The person who raped you might just be HIV positive. And so the more reason why you should come out, seek help, and that help will surely come to you.
Because the earlier you do it, the better for you. Because
Yes.
if it takes 5 years before you report, the person will be charged to court, right? Go to jail. What about you medically? What about you? How are you feeling? But if it's something you spoke out immediately, that time it happened, you'd have saved yourself a whole
Exactly.
lot of harm and
Exactly.
misfortune in the future. They've said it all. But before we wrap up, there's one question I want to ask you. It's not part of this, but it's part of it. Can a man rape his wife?
That's very serious.
Yeah. The woman comes to the court and say, my husband raped me. Is this something the law will move it, or is it a family matter?
Such matters have come up, and I'm happy that it's usually referred to the family courts, usually,
Okay.
because the law does not seek to encourage divorce, and escalates marital issues. No, the law seeks to reconcile, couples, husband and wife, and so on and so forth. And that is why even when you file for divorce, the courts, there's provision, the court will still give you some time to see whether both of you can reconcile, and all of that. And so, where a woman comes to report to me that her husband raped her, I will sit her down, calm her down, talk to her, and ask a lot of questions. Because the act of love making between a husband and a wife is supposed to be mutual, consensual, and enjoy and happiness, you see. And so there's what we call spousal rape,
Okay.
but if I hear that happens, or it comes to my attention, I'll rather, try to reconcile the couple, and help them get back into their marriage and live happily,
So that means
ever after, and do
that
their
means a man
thing,
cannot rape his wife.
do their thing, enjoy and happiness.
Okay, that's all we can take for today's episode.
In conclusion, just before you close, recognizing male victims of rape does not weaken the fight against sexual violence. Because some people might be thinking, now men say if they do this thing, pass. How you going to talk about men? The women are disproportionately affected. Once you mention rape, the first thing that goes into the mind of an average person is a man forcing himself on a woman. So we are saying today, since we are talking about male rape victims today, we are saying that recognizing male victims of rape does not weaken the fight against sexual violence. Rather, it strengthens it. Justice loses credibility when it excludes victims based on gender. The law must speak clearly, and society must listen carefully. Rape is rape, whether the victim is a male or a female. And we thank God for the VAP law, the VAP Act, which has come to stay, is now recognized and implemented by Akwa Ibom State Judicial System, and which makes provision for both male and female victims of rape. And so now, if, as I said earlier, you're a male victim of rape, just come forward and justice will be served.
You heard that. Thank you so much, Barrister. Thank you, Trisha. This was an amazing session. We've heard everything, and that's all we can take for today. Until we meet next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.